Being pilgrims who are embodied in the earth and in life, the Holy Land experience of 30 young people from the Montini High School in Milan. On Sunday the 22nd, on the day of the feast of St. Mary Magdalene, there was a presentation of a book on this disciple of Christ, a work which brings together the latest research on the saint and the archaeological discoveries in Magdala. The Orthodox Church of the Apostles in Capernaum is one of the most important in the Holy Land. In this area, Jesus performed many miracles, including the healing of the paralytic. In Jerusalem, YadLaKashish employs the elderly and teaches them how to produce quality handicrafts. Students and teachers from the custody of the Holy Land's music school had the opportunity to perform for 5 days between Washington and Baltimore in the United States. A small paradise on earth. This is how the Hortus Conclusus monastery appears at the bottom of the valley just outside Bethlehem, enclosed between mountains and a small spring. The doors of this magnificent shrine open to welcome 30 young students, some professors and parents from the Montini High School in Milan, who crowded the garden to help, for real. Tools, brushes, colours, a lot of hard work and sweat. They worked in the fields, fixed walls, painted games for the kindergarten children. Everything with joy to share together unique experience for these workers in the vineyard of the Lord. The joy that these sisters have in this place, surrounded by a different culture. There are only 5 of them. They live it with difficulty, but with joy and simplicity. I am very happy to be here. Also because in addition to the touristic part of the experience, we have the opportunity to interact with the locals. I ask myself many questions and I have many doubts. The experience we are having can help me answer these questions and grow up, because seeing certain places and touching things that you can only hear during the year are 2 completely different things.
È veramente un'altra cosa.
My daughter had this experience 3 years ago and she came back very excited. As a parent, it's not easy to see that kind of enthusiasm in your 17-year-old daughter. We're happy that we decided to come. We would have missed an incredible experience. 2 weeks of voluntary work in the Holy Land for the children of this unique Italian Catholic high school. Unique because it is based on the principle of the Acts of the Apostles, on the communion of goods. There are no fees, everyone pays what they can. A way not to be tourists, but pilgrims who are incarnated in the earth and in life, so that the world acquires depth and substance and the gospel comes alive. I wanted the students to live the experience of embodying the world in the reality of this place. Get their hands dirty with the earth, sweat, struggle, meet reality, meet people, so that the world does not remain something ideal but becomes real in the concreteness of history. I see in the students a significant growth from the spiritual and existential point of view. They understood the problem of the coexistence of different people, and above all, they put themselves at the service of others in a new country. This support of the religious communities also seems very beautiful and very useful to us, because we understand that there is a church that suffers and is struggling, and it is important for us so that when we return home, we can talk to those close to us. Visiting the holy places, walking where he walked, but not only, hours of volunteer work to be the outstretched hand of Christ that reaches everyone. Even now that we are just painting games for children, knowing that a child will come back in September, will laugh and will be happy with my work is something that makes me very happy, gives me infinite satisfaction. While the students experience touching the places where Jesus passed, where he stopped, they also live another kind of experience, as they feel touched by the word, by these places and by the mystery.
sentirsi toccati dal mistero.
The ruins of the ancient city of Magdala, the synagogue, the market, the harbour, the houses of the time, a dry and arid place which nevertheless stimulates the imagination on the pages of the Gospel and evokes the characteristics of the native place of one of the women who experienced God's mercy, Mary Magdalene, whose name comes from her birth town.
Ha sido para todos nosotros un grande descubrimiento. It
was a major discovery which none of us was expecting. I say that this is providential and brings a powerful message to today's world. We are bringing everything back to light to discover our origins of Jews and Christians, and Magdala is undoubtedly the meeting point for the first Christian community which developed here, as we know from archaeology and from history. The encounter between Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ took place here.
En estos lugares, sí, sin duda, como sabemos por arqueología y también por la historia, aquí fue el encuentro de María Magdalena con Jesucristo.
In the complex of Magdala, under the guidance of the Legionnaires of Christ, archaeological researches and historical sources present Magdala as an economically prosperous city at the time of Jesus, considered one of the richest and largest of the western coast of the Sea of Galilee. There are clear signs of a Jewish religious population, as well as Greek, Roman and Hellenistic remains.
When people step into Magdala, I hope that one of the themes that comes out is this encounter with Jesus. We see it so present in Mary Magdalene. She had 7 demons, for whatever reason she had those 7 demons, she needed liberation, and Jesus set her free. She became a new creation. And this gives a lot of hope for people. So I believe it's a call to each one of us to recognize in our own lives, how are we living according to that truth that our Lord calls us to, the truth.
After more than 2,000 years of discoveries and reflections about Mary of Magdala, it is still possible to discover treasures about the importance of this disciple of Christ. These aspects are investigated in the book Mary Magdalene, Insights from Ancient Magdala by the author Jennifer Ristine.
I think that gives us hope, right? That many times women, they like to tell themselves lies about themselves. I'm not good enough, I can't do it. And this reminds us that Jesus looks at us with love. We have a dignity that nobody and nothing can take away from us. We need to live according to that dignity, but there's something in our core that's there as an image of God that nobody can shatter or invade. So we have to protect that core.
The presentation of the book took place on Sunday, July the 22nd, Feast of St. Mary Magdalene, with a guided tour through the excavations, a moment to view the work of the author. Starting with Mary Magdalene, other women are also honoured in the modern Church of Magdala. A day to remember women who left their mark on history and on the scriptures. And in 2016, Pope Francis elevated the liturgical memory of Mary Magdalene, making this day her feast, a celebration to reflect on the dignity of women and to thank the first witness of the resurrection. Jesus chose to spend the last 3 years of his life in Capernaum, where he performed many miracles. On the 12th of July, the Orthodox Church celebrates Saints Peter and Paul. Both apostles faced martyrdom for the love of Jesus Christ. St. Peter was chosen by Jesus to be the foundation of the church. You are Peter, and on this stone I will build my church. And St. Paul preached the gospel with all his might. I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. The Orthodox Church of the Apostles was built in the Byzantine era. There are many pilgrims who come from all over the world who ask for forgiveness and the intercession of these two saints. The church with its pink domes overlooks the Sea of Galilee. Inside the church you can admire icons representing biblical events, as well as the life of the two saints in the Holy Land.
Most of the miracles and 8 of the 12 apostles, it was been invited from this area to be his students. So this is a miracle dedicated to this place. According to the tradition, the crippled men, the paralyzed men, they brought to the house where Jesus Christ, it was being preached the law, and they couldn't enter because they come late. It was a lot of people inside in the house, and they climb on the ceiling. They drop through the ropes in the front of Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ saw the effort his friends did and says, "I forgive your sins. Take your bed and go home."
In the miracle of the healing of the paralytic, God saw the faith in the eyes of his relatives and showed them his infinite mercy. Right there, as stressed by Father Arinarchos, many ask for the healing of the body and the soul and the forgiveness of sins. There have been many acts of mercy towards the weak. A few steps away from the old town of Jerusalem, there is a place revealing colors, shapes, art, and especially stories like that of Avraham, an Argentinian 82-year-old man who's got joy and enthusiasm oozing out of him. I have been a part of this community with my wife for more than 10 years. We come here every day, 5 mornings a week. We are doing artistic activities. We are not artists, but everyone does something. And working all together, we obtain the final product that circulates throughout the community and among the tourists who come and visit us. There is no mass production here. There are no goals and there is no hurry. On the contrary, skillful hands and glances give space to patience and attention. The results of this commitment are the original works that fill with pride those who made them.
I'm Russian and I came to Israel 23 years ago. I started working here 9 years ago and I love my work very much. I'm really happy. I am a doctor. I have worked for a long time and I am now retired. A friend of mine told me about this place, which allows retired people to have a job.
YadLaKashish is a non-profit organization that was established in 1962 and offered currently 270 people, elderly, needy. They learn what to do, they get stipends, they get free bus pass, they get a hot daily lunch, they get monetary gifts and dental subsidies, they get many services, which helps them to handle the challenges that they have. They're all low-income population, most of them are immigrants from all over the world, and many are Holocaust survivors.
Live this age at its best, a more than deserved goal.
I'm Ukrainian. I came to Israel 13 years ago. I had free time and I still have energy. Therefore, I looked for a job and here I am. I started 3 years ago. Working here is very nice.
עבודה טובה. לפני אני עובדת בגן ילדים.
I'm from Moscow. I came to Israel in 1991. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy here. The atmosphere is lovely and I have good friends.
Pope Francis emphasized that the elderly represent the historical memory of every community, a heritage of wisdom and faith that must serve as an example and must be preserved and valued.
We try to show that there's no reason to expect less from elderly. They come, they do significant work, they do professional work, beautiful items that are being sold in our gift shop, and they most importantly gain a self-esteem and proud of what they're doing.
People full of wisdom who have a lot to teach with their stories and their lives.
Their average age is 80 years old, and despite the fact that they are immigrants, they don't speak the language. They have significant economical challenges. Still, they have the strength to get up in the morning and be active. It's not an easy task for an old people, and they don't give up. It's amazing.
Una pequeña familia, sí, esto aun cuando no todos hablamos.
We're like a small family. We don't all speak the same language here, but we form a human group in which we feel good. We worry if someone doesn't show up, if they have health problems. It's a true friendship.
Preocupamos si alguien no viene, si tiene problemas de salud, es decir, hay una verdadera amistad.
It's much better to stay here than at home without doing anything or arguing with my wife, jokes Abraham, who continues, when your hands work, your head rests. 20 years ago in Jerusalem, a beautiful corner became a proper music school, the Magnificat Institute. The custody of the Holy Land's School of Music was conceived by Father Armando Pierucci and has today 220 students and 30 teachers. It provides practical academic music education for children in Jerusalem, regardless of gender, language, race or religion. Some of the school's students and teachers have been to the United States between the 12th and the 16th of July. 5 days of concerts for instruments and voices between Washington, D.C. and Baltimore to revive the music of great composers.
Going out to show who we are and what we are able to do is also a good example to manifest to the people that are helping us, donors, what they are helping, who they are helping, and the result.
The Institute is an example of peaceful coexistence of ethnic and religious groups who share a passion for music and arts. The Magnificat, as stated by Father Alberto, was a small seed that is today a beautiful tree.
Coming here is really for us to open our mind and our hearts. How beautiful is the variety of cultures, and here we saw really that humanity is represented. So I think the message that we want to bring and we will bring home is that it's possible to live together beyond all the differences and denomination, labels. This is what we try to do in Jerusalem, but we see that here also everybody's doing.
Music, Pope Francis reminds us, has the ability to unite souls and to unite us with the Lord. It is horizontal and vertical too. It goes upwards and frees us from anguish.